Shalom, I'll give all honor, glory, and praises to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHWASHI, QADASH, the abundance to the elders and apostles, great millstone for teaching this truth, and sincerity, exaltation to the hopeful, and that spread out four corners of the earth. All right, so the word of today is discipline. Discipline. All right, so discipline, right? So in the Hebrew, that word means mashama, right? In Hebrew, it's mashama, right? Ma, 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 sha, ma, right? Discipline. So, when we're in this truth, when we're in the world, we have to apply discipline. We have to be disciplined, right? We have to control, you know, our mind, our body, and spirit. We have to have self-control of our mind, our body, and our spirit, right? So you cannot let, going back to the truth, you can't let, different doctrines or different camps or different, know, different. You can't be, be tossed, to and from different doctrine, or you have to have control over your spirit. You know, you can't let those, demons, have control over your spirit, right? So, that was the word discipline. The word discipline in Latin goes back to the word discipline, which means instructions, giving, teaching, learning, knowledge, and discipline in English means to potential chastisement, punishment for the sake of correction, right? So when we're in this truth, we'll be disciplined, we'll be chastised, right? Because it's for correction, for reproof, and for exhortation. Sometimes you might be disciplined, or you might go through some things just where you can learn how to deal with it. Then you might help another brother out who might be going through the same thing. So everything we go through in this truth and in this walk is for correction, for you know, learning, right? For learning, knowledge, to gain knowledge. Everything we go through is for teaching, purposes, right? To teach others, right? So I'm going to bring out a precept in the Hebrew translation. The first precept I'm going to bring out is Proverbs chapter 3, verse 11. It reads, my son, despise not the chastening of Yahawah, neither be weary of his correction. Right? So the word chastening goes back to the word, the Hebrew word muzar, right? Because the word chastise in Hebrew goes back to the word yazar, right? Yazar. And I believe in the Greek as well, it means select it. Let's type it. Proverbs 3 and 11 goes back to the Greek word musar, right? Musar, right? Musar.
Strong's H 4148. Musar.
Right. So, which means discipline, right? Discipline goes back to the word discipline, chastening, correction, discipline, correction. Right. So, Musar, discipline, correction, Musar, right? So, when we're in this when we're in this truth, we are being chastised, right? Constantly, it's to build us ultimately for the ultimate test, right? The ultimate test, which is gonna come, when this NWO, right? New World Order is finally been established, or is in its ending point, or is its staging point of being finalized. So you know, um, this chastisement that we're going through is ultimately to build us up, right? To where we can be able to have that, have that wall basically, that and have that, have that, have the mind state that what when we walk through the shadow of the valley of death, that we will not fear the evil because our Lord is with us, right? Perfectly paraphrasing. So, you know, this the whole point of why we've been corrected, why we've been, you know, while we're being disciplined, right? The chastening of Yahweh needs to be worried of his correction, right? Whichever correction goes back to the word tau, 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 ka, which means to rebuke, correction, reprove, punishment. You know, when you're in this truth, you might be getting reproved, you might be getting rebuke, um, all for other purposes. As you read down the 12th verse, for whom Yahweh loveth, he, he, he corrected, even as a father, the son in whom he delighted. Right. So YAHWASHI is, he is YAHWASHI, he is working with us, right? He is, he has called us to fulfill his purpose, right? So, we go through things, to you know, to be tested, right? To build us up. Okay, I'm gonna go get 1 Corinthians chapter 9, the blue letter. One Corinthians chapter 9, verse 25, from the 24th verse. Know ye not that which run in a race run all, but one receives the prize, so run that you may attain. So in order for us to be able to continue in this walk, continue in this truth, and to attain that crown of life, right? To attain salvation is by being disciplined, right? So we run, when we run, when you run, um, let to start to build up, you start to get, you know, when you run, you have to have the ability to endure. You have to have the ability to, um, you have to have endurance ultimately. Um, you have to be disciplined, right? You have to be, you have to be in a mind state of persevering, right? Because the right race is it's gonna get difficult. You're gonna feel, you know, you're gonna feel. Sometimes you might feel low, you might feel high. So it's just all about discipline and continue in the continue in the race that we might attain that crown of life. 25th verse, and every man that strives for the mastery is temperate in all things. Now they do it to attain the correct crown, but we incorruptible, right? So, the athletes out there, they train hard. They train hard to get that, get whatever prize that they are starving for, right? But we do it to get that incredible crown, right? The everlasting life, the crown of life, something that won't corrupt, right? So that's what this race is all about, right? That's just walking with Yahweh is all about, right? By attaining that incredible crown. And how we obtain that incredible crown by going through rebuke, by going through chastisement, by going through different things. Like I said, you might be going through something in your mind um, that you've been chastised for. It might be it might be financially, it might be, just different things that we might go through, right? But ultimately, it's to build up our faith, to um, to you know how that you know how that concrete wall, basically that brick wall, you know, have that strong tower, um, you know, around us, right? That when those fiery darts come, that it won't be able to quench those walls that we have built up, which is ultimately discipline and through chastisement, right? Um, right. So I'm going to get Proverbs chapter 16, verse 32 reads, "He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh a city." Right. So we have to be slow to anger. Right. We can't be you know quit to try to try to can't be quit to try to something, so because stuff might come up in your life. Some stuff might come up in your life that may want to provoke you to wrath, right? May want to provoke you to destruction, right? But you have to be able to rule over your own emotions, right? When you're in this church, you can't be emotional, right? Like I said, we go through things, right? But we can't ultimately let our emotional, you know, overtake us, right? When we're in this truth, right? We have to have that spirit of discipline, right? We can't, because that emotion, can be a stumbling block, and ultimately, Yahawashai can kick you out of this truth, right? Kick you out of this walk, right? So ultimately, um, you have to be able to rule over your emotion. How do you rule over your emotion? Through discipline, right? And so better than the mighty, and right, the mighty, the strong, right, the mighty, and he that ruleth his spirit, if he taketh, then he that taketh a city, right. So ultimately, um, you know, when we're in the truth, when we're a spiritual people, we are stronger than those that work out physically, those that are in power right now. We are stronger than the governors, than the kings of this world, right? Because we have self discipline, right? We have control over our mind. We have control over our body. We have control over the flesh. We have control over our body. We have control over our spirit, right? And when we're in this, when we were in the world, right, we didn't have control over our mind. We didn't have control over our spirit. We didn't have control over our flesh, because if we did, we wouldn't be um, we wouldn't have no sin, right? We would have nothing to repent from. So, you know, ultimately, through when we were able to attain this truth, and we're able to, and we will show how to properly walk in this truth, and how what we need to do in order to, be in order for Yahweh to be pleased with us, right? It's through chastisement, through discipline, right? So, you know, it's very important, that it's important that stuff that you go through, you know, you continue your faith in this walk. Proverbs 5, verse 20, it reads, "He that has no root over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls." Right. So a city that is broken down and without walls is a city that anyone just can go through, go in. A city that is easily attacked. It can be bombed easily. So you don't want to be like a city without walls, because when you are like a city without walls, anyone just can come into your life. Demons can easily attack you. Those fairy darts can easily get to you. You start to bug out. So it cannot be like a city without walls, right? Because if you are, then ultimately the spirit is not with you, and you will be, you know, you will not be continuing to walk right. You will ultimately be destroyed. So, it's important. Word of the day is discipline. You know, it's through discipline we are chastised. With chastise means to correct, to reprove, to rebuke. Ultimately, the agenda is to for our learning and to teach others. Right. So, I'm give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh Bashim Bashim Kakdash. Kalahaya Yahweh Yahweh Bashim Bashim Kakdash. Rakatah to you, Akim, Yahweh. Till next time, I'll say Shalom.